Alright, so today's video is going to be a little different. Today we're going to be replacing the rudder cables for my kayak. I've previously had issues with my rudder cable with this FeelFree Moken, where they just kept breaking with the device inside, and I'll show you the flap that was kept damaging the wire. And you know, it would break while I was out there on the water, and you know, not a very good situation when that happens. So today we're going to be installing coated wire instead of the regular wire that they put in there. I do not remember off the top of my head the size of this wire, but I will put it on the screen right now. And yeah, that is the size wire that I use for this, and that was recommended by the guys at FeelFree. I've already done the coated wire last time I used it. But the clamps that I was using in order to tie the wires up under the handle were too long, so I can't get the full distance on the rotation of the handle because those clips are too long. So right now we're going to change those clips out to shorter clips, and we're going to reinstall the coated wire into the rudder, and you're going to see how we do this, because there's not a video on YouTube right now that's really good enough to help you with this. I mean, and if you're having issues with the rudder cable keep breaking, I don't think there's a single video on YouTube right now trying to help with that issue. And if you're like me, you spent a lot of money on your kayak and you want to keep your kayak for a long time and not have to keep breaking into it to keep trying to fix it every time you go out in the water. So hopefully this will be a long-term solution. So far it has been. The last one that I put on has lasted me I want to say about 5 or 6 rides now, and it's been stellar. It's been great. I can't complain. But we're gonna put this other one in, and hopefully it lasts a little longer. Let's go. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is open up this handle and cut the wire from inside. All right, so we got the handle unscrewed. I'm gonna go ahead and try to flip this over so you can see what's going on in here. So if you see this flap is needed for the handle to turn left and right. We got this open now, so let's take a look on the inside. We're gonna go ahead and cut these wires. All right, when you take this off, remember that there is 2 washers, okay? You can put that in a safe place. Push that out. Good. All right, so go ahead and cut this wire like so. So now we're going to take this wire and cut. So that should set this free. So now you just need to loosen this up a little bit, or a lot of it, and work it out. Not just, there you go. All right, so now that we got that bit free, now that we got this little bit free, we're gonna go ahead and get the other one. So this other one, you don't exactly have to remove it off. You could just clip it where it's at. Oh. There we go. That was a little harder than I wanted it to be. All right, so we're gonna go ahead, loosen that up. Pull that wire out. All right, so now we're good to go. Now, this is the little flap I was telling you about right here. So one of the wires will be around here like this, and this flap will basically pull it left and right. and that is where the wire was breaking almost every time. So yeah, this is why we're going to use coated wire. Next step is getting all this stuff out of the kayak. All right, so this is quite simple. Pretty much just clip that, and the next thing you're gonna do is just pull this boy out. Good to go. Go ahead and loosen these guys up a little bit, or a lot of it, and remove them. All right, rudder cables are removed. So yesterday we ran into a little issue. We didn't have enough of this wire, so we had to stop and wait for the next day because Home Depot was already closed by the time I got to them. So we got one wire that's already cut to the right length. All right, so we're gonna go ahead, fit that in right where it goes, stick it inside the hole, and you just wanna drive it straight through. Now when you get to the end point, now you might notice it's a little hard to get through, or it might feel like it's stuck. If you just twist this as you're pulling, you'll eventually make your way through and you'll have some slack. So go ahead and just leave this there for now. So this is also perfect that I have a brand new 30-foot piece of wire here. So if you have a brand new wire, this is what you do. You just take the whole entire wire, just push it right through. All right. Remember, the right side is going to be a little longer than the left side because it has to travel across the boat, not just straight down it. Again, it's stuck, so you just want to twist it through till you get it through. Now we got it through. Leave a little slack on that end, put a little slack on this end, and then we're going to take our wire cutters and cut it. Simple as that. So as you see here, we have two pieces right here that should have enough distance to make a loop around and clamp it. In order to be able to crimp down, you want to go get some cable crimps that are going to be big enough to fit the wire through, because this is coated. It's not going to be the same thickness as the last one you're using that came with the boat. So whatever clamps they gave you to go with the replacement wire, it's not going to work. It's going to be too thin. So these are 2mm clamps, and they seem to work fine. And you want to get them short, you don't want them long. All right, a lot of the fishing clamps that you get at the stores, when you get them this size, they come a bit longer, and you don't want that length. And I'm going to show you here why in a second. This is what was preventing us from getting a full turn last time I had this in. So all my turns were sort of wide rather than me making any sharp turns. And then you want to get these little ends for the back end of these. Will go right here on the back end of this to just kind of protect it from fraying. What we're gonna do is we're gonna strip a small piece. I think like right there is good. Stripped. All right, perfect. We got both sides stripped. So the way this is gonna go is this is gonna be your left turning wire. So this is what's gonna bend across that flap. This is gonna go back here like that, and it's gonna bend across that flap, and that's what's gonna cause it to turn, right? And then this one goes right into that one. Simple as that. You'll see in a second. All right, so next thing we're gonna do is stick this guy on there. A little bit of slack. Get him through. Once you got him through, you want to take this piece, stick it right inside that crimp. Nice and easy. Try not to damage the wire at all. Then just want to kind of pull that tight. Alright, that looks good. Nice little small loop. You want to take your crimpers, go ahead and crimp that down. Okay. If you got it crimped down, you know it ain't going nowhere. Just pull on that sucker. Make sure it ain't going nowhere. Seems to be crimped down pretty well. Cool. Alright. So let's put one of these guys over. And then we're gonna put this inside here. Use a twist method. Boom. Right through. And we're gonna take this guy. Now, if you remember in the beginning, we stripped these wires. The reason why we stripped these wires is simply because in order for both pieces of this wire to fit through this crimp, one of the sides has to be slightly thinned out. So what I did was I just took off a small piece of the coating and made sure that was the only piece that was exposed that was under the crimp. So we should have no issues with the wire breaking from the crimp, hopefully. Alright, you want to get that loop as tight as possible. That's probably good right there. Go ahead and crimp that down. And this is why you get the fishing crimps, so you don't have to go buy a very big expensive crimper. This is a small crimp you could fit into a small toolbox and throw it anywhere. And they're not expensive. It was a way better option than the almost $100 option they had for wire crimpers. Alright, so once you get that nut on there, finger tightened, go you go ahead and take your wrench, go ahead and tighten it the rest of the way. Now, you don't want to tighten this actually tight. You just want it, enough to where it holds it in place, but at the same time, this can move freely. You want this to move freely. All right. You don't want this to be held in position. All right. So as long as these two things are moving freely, and yeah, all right, we're good. I would say just put a little more oomph on that. Yeah, there we go. All right, so now we are locked in. So we push our wires all the way through. All right, once we got that through, I'll go ahead and tighten these guys up a little bit. Make sure the handle's turning. Cool. Handle is turning. There's one main sign to know that if you're concerned about how you put your wires on to your rudder and your handle, if you're concerned about if you may have put the wrong wire on the wrong end, what you want to do is when you test out your rudder, you want to make sure that whatever way you turn your rudder, your handle is turning in the same direction, right? And then you should be good to go. All right, so one more screw and we're good to go. All right, so when you're tightening these screws up, you do not want to tighten these up like super tight. Like just tighten them up to when they stop turning. And like this is like finger tight, stop turning. Like as soon as you just feel that thing get tight, just stop turning it. It'll be fine. Now we do the finishing part. So we're gonna go ahead and take our line and run it through these holes. Now, when you're doing this is when you want to really use that twist method. Like right from the start. Don't even wait for it to give you a hard time. Just start twisting it through. And you should make it through. Just like that. Go ahead and twist this guy. And you can just kind of go back and forth. That's what I do.
Now that we got everything leveled up, cool. Now, simply all you do is take your crimpers, you're gonna cut off a small little piece from the end, just like that. If you have a lot of slack, like this side does, just cut it, get rid of it. Go ahead and strip off another piece on this side. Cool. We're gonna go ahead and all right, so now we're gonna take these guys. These are the little ends. They're cable end caps. You can get these on Amazon. They're just for like brake cables for bicycles. And you're just gonna stick it on the ends, on both ends. You're gonna take your crimpers. Crimp it up. Make sure it's on there. You're good to go. Crimp that guy up. Good to go. All right, so if my calculations are right, we should have a fully functioning and fully rotating rudder, and we do. Coated wires. These coated wires are definitely a game changer. I'm gonna say the last ones that I had on here, they've lasted all the way up till this point, and I don't think that I needed to change them. I just changed them because of the long crimps that I had that were preventing me from turning all the way. So now I got full rotation on my rudder. Everything feels good. Everything feels great. I'm excited. But yeah, that is how you change the rudder cables on a FeelFree Moken 12.5, and that is also how you install coated cables. Go ahead and give this a shot. If you have a FeelFree Kayak, you could probably do this with the lures. You could probably do this with the Dorados. Go ahead and give it a shot. I promise you, the coated wires are a game changer. They're a little bit more of a pain in the butt to install, but they're a game changer. They'll last longer and they won't rust up on you or get dry like the bare ones would. But yeah, man, this is Jan with Yak Fishing, and I see y'all out there on the water. Yank 'em up.